Galactic Bombshell here. So, people have been dealing with, a lot of egotistical, as they say, people on their high horse type individuals who was, really, really treating other people, like they were beneath them in some way. They were playing a lot of petty games behind the scenes, rallying around folks, trying to get them, silenced and all that because for whatever reason, a lot of these people, were just very threatened by, I guess the up and coming or the people who were younger than them or people who were newer than them or just people who did something that they felt that they couldn't do, as in the people who've been doing all these rallies and smear campaigns and, just all kind of diabolical bullshit. All right. So evidently these people were on some sort of false trajectory, but that led them to this high horse mentality. They could be someone who was very much so pretending to focus on their money, or actually could have been focusing on their money. Some of them, though, they were focused on their money in a way of getting it in very, like I said, diabolical means. And some of them were actually truly getting to the bag in very legitimate ways. But for whatever reason, they had time to be petty, to be mischievous, maniacal? Forgot the word. Something like that. They were too busy trying to stunt in front of the scene, stunt on the gram, stunt in your workplace, stunt in your neighborhood, all while working behind the scenes trying to destroy you, right? So why are these people, on their high horse like that? Why do they think that they was better than thou? Because they appeared to have more followers, more money. They were a boss at the job, an actual boss, supervisor. Is it because they didn't like the fact that you didn't wear, Dior or, Ralph Lauren or Saint Laurent? Did they think that you couldn't afford it, or maybe you could afford it and they couldn't, and they was mad? What was going on? Why was they on a high horse like that? Why was they on a high horse like that? Why was they, so delusional to think that material things or numbers on social media would give them a right to feel that they were holier than thou? Like, what was going on with the God complex, goddess complex that was false? I did a goddess complex video on Instagram yesterday. So this is a follow up to that. I didn't do it on TikTok, but I'm still giving the follow up as to why they felt the way they did, outside of low self esteem and things, and threatening, and all that usually stems from low self esteem and insecurities, but which is all all insecurities. It all boils down to it. But what was going on with why they thought they needed to go out of their way and to act the way that they did to try to, like I said, silence you and things like that, or make your life more harder and all those type of things, rather than them just focusing on their crafts, focusing on their work, focusing on getting their money. Like, what did that have to do, with you, and why bringing you down was actually going to help their money? How was that going to help their money? And what was going on with them? Why they was on their high horse like that, though? They had a false sense of who they were. Delusions of grandeur is also what that's about as well. I see that for some they have a closed heart. Clearly, they're unavailable. They had emotional burdens and all that type of stuff. They had tight money, clearly some of them did, but they was pretending like they didn't. But some of them was doing it because their money, it says money was tight. We have that, we got that, but why they think that trying to destroy you was going to help their money? Was it a lawsuit going on against you that had it? Was it a life insurance policy they had on you? Like, what was the reason? The cards coming out is separation and undervalued. Is the word unvalued? Wounded. Is that what that word says? That word is always so it's always so the way they wrote it, it's not easiest to read, but separation says that it's withdrawal, disconnect, test of love, relationship breakdown. So they were trying to test you. Some of you all, this is a love person, and they wanted to test you by trying to destroy your life to see, I guess, if they could do it. I mean, I don't know why anybody would feel that they need to destroy your life in order for them to get money, and or why they would even think that targeting you in silence, not even directly, indirectly, is going to make you hand over some money to them. I mean, I don't know, And it says it's also, like I said, this other card was talks about feeling taken for granted, unequal give and take, and not feeling appreciated. So maybe when people, when they take advantage of you, they on the flip side, they also felt like they was unappreciated because they couldn't. For some of y'all, they wanted to take advantage of you and could not, and so they flipped it to say that you was taking advantage of them, but they was the one who's destroying you behind the scenes. So take it for granted, and then basically clicked and bait, switched and bait, and then worked on destroying you behind the scenes because of unequal give and take that could have been on both parts, but it could have just been on one part, and it was switched and bait, and you were blamed for that behavior. Typical storyline of what they would call people who have personality disorders. It also talks about work, focused on work, it says here. Working hard and long hours, love at work. So for some of y'all, you were the affair or the side person, and they wanted to destroy you because they didn't want you to get back to their partner, their main partner, or they had another partner on the side at work or what have you, and I guess they had to get more money, destroy you so they can get to this third party that they had on the side at work. Or maybe this is what somebody at work or somebody they knew from a work type dynamic must have convinced them that they needed to destroy their main partner, male or female, while they're at work. You can get more money that way if you destroy them because, you working hard and all that, but you don't have a lot to show for it, or it's taking a long time. So why don't you just destroy them so they, maybe that will help you with you can come be with me, or you can leave that, you can leave them and come be with me, and then we can have more money together and stuff like that. And then also it's saying that divine intervention came out as well, and that card talks about the keywords at the bottom, or the caption at the bottom says, angels are helping, trust the divine plan, and believe in miracles, divine intervention. So that was some sort of intervention, and that intervention could be so that you can actually see the truth of who this individual was, or individuals, and or the individual can actually see who they are. And that was a gold digger, that was someone who thought that they was going to win at all costs. So it was for people, both sides, or everybody involved, to see where they fit at, rather than switch and bait and blame you, even though that was behaviors that they were showing. But they got to save face. So they don't like to admit that this is what they've been doing behind the scenes. They want to say that it's you. But this was the divine intervention, is what it's saying here. And the people that were doing that behind the scenes also might have felt like that was some sort of intervention that they had with their gods, goddesses, demons, or devils. Whoever this person they was entity they was dealing with might have said, this is the divine intervention. This is fate that I destroy this person so that I can get money. That could have been what they were thinking as well. And lastly, it says cut through. It does seem like with all this that happened, there is still, or there will be, some sort of clarity. It says emotional, mental clarity, secrets come to light and break through. So the divine intervention was for the people, for that to never be in the dark. That darkness did come to light, or will be coming to light. It was never meant to be kept in secret, even though the people wanted to keep it in secret. So the people that have done this behind the scenes to destroy your life, or plan to actually will be revealed if they haven't already. So that's the plot twist to that right there. That's the plot twist to that. And the thing about it is, when things are revealed, the people that wanted to destroy you, whatever they didn't get from you, they won't get it. Whatever they did get from you, that's all they will get. So whatever it was they were looking for, I guess they got it.